Okay, we're going to talk about arithmetic sequences here. This is kind of a review to back off of, or back on the Khan Academy video that you should have watched. Okay, arithmetic sequences, again, are sequences that have a common difference, all right, and it's either usually addition and subtraction. All right, so with these examples here, if we wanted to determine whether they're arithmetic, we would try to find a common difference between the two. So if we go to from 2 to 5, the difference is plus 3. From 5 to 8, it's plus 3. From 8 to 11, it's plus 3, and so forth, so on. If we had to do plus 3 again, the next term in the sequence would be 14. All right, and the common difference is 3, or plus 3. Okay, with our next example, we see that we go plus 2, then plus 1, then plus 7, and already you could tell that it's not arithmetic because there is no common difference. We're not adding by the same amount each time. It would help if I spelled arithmetic right, so you can see right on the paper. Okay, the last one is minus 5, minus 5, minus 5. So the common difference is minus 5. Okay? In the video, it talks about two rules. Okay? We have the recursive rule, or recursive formula. I'm sorry. Which is right here. Okay, and then we have the explicit rule, or explicit formula. Okay, the difference being, with the recursive rule, it talks about the previous term and then the first term are mentioned in the recursive rule and the formula. All right. With the explicit formula, it's better used because it has the first term, the common difference. Oops. First term is here, and then the common difference is right here. Okay, and then what we do is we're going to take the term we're using and then subtract it by 1, multiplied by the common difference. Okay, so let's look at a couple examples within this video. The first one is we have our example from the previous slide. Okay, we're just going to do this. So here, the first term is 2, okay, because it's right here. The common difference is plus 3. We learned that from the last example. All right. Now with the explicit rule, the formula is going to be a sub n representing the term in your sequence, equals the common difference times the number in your sequence minus 1 plus the first term. All right, so your common difference is what's in the triangle, your first term is what's in the circle. All right, so if we had to translate this with our example, we would take a sub n whatever our term is, equals the common difference, which is 3, times n minus 1 plus the first term, which is 2. Alright, in the recursive rule, we have a sub n equals a sub n minus 1, that's the previous term, plus the common difference. Alright, and then we have to write what the first term is. A sub 1, the first term, equals whatever's in the circle. Okay, the first term. Alright, so here, that translates to a sub n, the term we're looking for, equals a sub n minus 1 plus whatever's in the triangle, the common difference, which is, in this case, 3. And then the first term is 2, whatever's in the circle. Okay, let's try it again with our other example that was arithmetic. Alright, so again, we have a sub n equals the difference times n minus 1 plus 0. Not plus 0, plus the circle. Put a dashed 1 to show the difference. Okay, the recursive is a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus the triangle, whatever goes in there, and n a sub 1 equals whatever's in the circle. Alright, so triangle, again, represents the common difference. The circle represents the first term. Alright, so if we look at this, our first term is 12. And then our common difference is negative 5. So we have to write it without the circle and the triangle. It's a sub n equals 5, negative 5, times n minus 1 plus 12. And then this would be a sub n equals a sub n minus 1, the previous term, plus negative 5 or minus 5, and then the first term is 12. Okay, let's look at a couple examples you're going to see throughout your work. Number 1 here says, determine if the sequence is arithmetic. If it is, find the common difference. So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to see if there's a common difference. So the difference between 35 and 32 is minus 3. 32 and 29 is minus 3. 29 and 26, minus 3. Do we have a common difference? Yes. So it's arithmetic. So we're going to say yes, and the common difference equals negative 3. All right, let's look at our next example. The difference between negative 3 and negative 23 is negative 20. And then we have negative 20 here and negative 20 here. So is it arithmetic? Yes. And the common difference was negative 20 or minus 20. Next example, given the explicit formula for an arithmetic sequence, so again, here's our explicit formula. Okay, it's a little different from what I wrote. We have to find the first 5 terms in the term named in the problem. Okay, the difference between this being explicit and our other ones that I show you is what they do here is they end up, and you don't have to write this on your paper, they end up distributing and then combining like terms, okay, with their formula. We don't have to worry about that too much. Alright, so given the explicit formula, find the first 5 terms and the term named. Alright, what we're going to do is this. We're not going to do the first 5 terms. I'm just going to show you how to find the term named. Now what they want to do is find the 34th term here. That's why we have the subscript 34. So A sub 34, not N anymore, equals negative 11, that stays the same, plus 7. Now, if you notice, N's here, alright, and now N is 34 in the subscript. So now we know that N is 34. We're looking for the 34th term. So we do 7 times 34. Okay? Now if we calculate that, we do 7 times 34, which is 238, plus negative 11. And we get A sub 34, so negative 11 plus 238 is 227. And that's the 34th term in this sequence. Alright, number 8, same thing. A sub 39 equals 65 minus 100 times 39. So 39 times 100 is 3,900. 65 minus that is negative 3,835. So A sub 39 equals that. Okay, given the first term and the common difference of an arithmetic sequence, find the first 5 terms and the explicit formula. Okay, we're not going to do the first 5 terms. We're going to find the explicit formula. Alright, so we have the first term and we have the difference. Okay, so 28 is our first term, and D, the difference, is 10. So we're going to write the explicit formula. If you guys remember, it's A sub n equals triangle times n minus 1 plus the difference. Okay, I got this backwards a little bit, I think. Oh, so here's our difference. This is our first term, and here's our difference. Set it backwards. Okay, so the difference, and then our first term. Alright, so A sub n equals our difference, which is 10, times n minus 1, plus the first term. And there we go. Okay, again, here's our first term, and here's our difference. So A sub n equals the difference, n minus 1, plus our first term, or in this case we're going to minus our first term. Okay, now given the first term and the common difference of an arithmetic sequence, find the recursive formula. And the first 3 terms, we don't have to do that. Okay, so the recursive formula for this is going to be something like A sub n equals the previous term plus the difference. Alright, so the first term in this case is negative 26. Alright, and then we're going to look for the recursive formula, which is going to be A sub n equals A sub n minus 1 plus the difference, which is 200. Next one, A sub 1 equals 39, sorry, that's right there. And then the difference is negative 5, so A sub n equals A sub n, the previous term, n minus 1 minus